Just going outside because there's no. It's just waiting for it to connect now. Still hasn't gone live, I guess. There you go. Now we're live. Talk to the homies, talk to the community. Go this way. What's up, guys? Hey, good morning. What's up, man? What's up, guys? We're going to talk about, today, well, what did I say there? Decoding the Imperial capitalist language. Decoding the imperialist capitalist language and what to communicate when it comes to sustainability. What do we want to, I'm going to go this way, there's no service. What to communicate to the outside world when it comes to sustainability, okay? I'm just waiting for more people to hop on, then we're going to talk. It's so weird, I have to always leave my area where I do my, like where I live, to get people to hop on. If I ever do it in my apartment, nobody joins the stream. It's just so bizarre, so weird. It's the weirdest thing. What's up, guys? Yeah, until I figure it out, I don't know what to do. I have to figure out some way to connect to YouTube from within my apartment, but until then I have to walk around when I'm doing my streams. I have to be outside. But waiting for more people to join. Today it's kind of dead. I am from New York. Well, I live in Brooklyn right now, but I'm originally from the Middle East. Originally Iranian, Persian. All right, there we go. People are coming. There you go. Hello, guys. Hello. We're going to talk about some very important stuff soon, so just hang on. I'm going to wait for a few more people to join, and then we're going to talk about some important stuff. Trust me. I got some good information, always packed with value to provide you guys. Hello, guys. How you doing? Welcome back to the stream. We're going to talk about something important, you know. Just hang in there, we'll get started soon. Let's get it, guys. So, I'm going to talk about decoding the capitalist, imperialist language, okay? Because there's many layers of society and different narratives that we often miss out on when we look at the world's problems, okay? So we may think, okay, the main problems to focus on are like Israel genocide, you know, or American imperialism, or the fights going on between, you know, Ukraine and Russia, or even climate change. We have to fight against climate change. Like, these are the manifestations of society that we're living in, which is very unsustainable, the economic system, you know? So we're often left to fight symptoms of a disorder, but not actually address the root sources of those problems. And that's what I see right now, sadly, happening over and over again. All these people I respect so much, there's so many people I respect so much on all these big channels. They talk about, I mean, they're right, everything they say, you know, like Norman Finkelstein, you know, all these different people talking about the hypocrisy of the West, you know, and its failure to hold up human rights. I agree with all that stuff, but they're not really talking about the root source of the problem, which is almost every country, doesn't matter if you're Iran, you know, the axis of resistance still uses a capitalist model. It uses a system that's wholly unsustainable and conflict producing, okay? So that's the point. But so the world is left not questioning the very mechanism of society, like the economic system, the social system, the cultural system, and instead it's left fighting to catch up and do damage control. all we're doing is doing damage control, the way I look at it with society. We're constantly trying to put out fires here and there, those fires being climate change, wars, instability, riots, mass migration of people, immigration crises, crime, totalitarianism. Like, these problems are things that we have to focus on solving. However, the world needs to start discussing avenues of thought that transcend these outdated ideological, institutions and establishments. These things are what is holding us back. So quite often, I talk to people in the sustainability community all the time, and many of them in the political community, they don't agree with me that the root source of the problem really comes down to like concepts like, for example, trade, debt-based economics, growth-based economics. These are the main issues that drive all the disgusting behaviors that we're so offended by. The aggressive, competitive, acquisitive, corrupt behavior we see displayed so often by politicians and the wealthy. Those are not the main problems. It's the actual conditions that bring about those behaviors that is the problem. And that's my point. So I'm going to break those things down today with you guys. I'll answer your questions. Any questions you have, I'll address them. But I'll be talking about how we can transition from this kind of economic mode of operation to building communities and societies of the future, which behave and think and respect completely different values. Okay, different values. All right. So let's get into it. So, yeah, sadly I see a lot of comments on Jesus and all the Christianity, all that shit. So I'm just going to ignore those comments. So I'm going to talk about, even religion, like religions like the atheistic religion, the theistic religion, the Christianity, Judaism, Islam, it actually comes from a very primitive, scarcity-oriented worldview. So you're holding on to a scarcity-oriented worldview because thousands of years ago, society was not advanced technologically. And labor being the most important thing, labor, energy, and resources being the most important things to run society, well, when those things are highly inefficient, which is the societies of the past, highly inefficient, labor, just a few hundred years ago, we started having the technological infrastructure for what we see around us, the crazy world around us full of manufacturing potential, production, distribution. The things we can do now is incredible compared to before. But capitalism and the market system and systems based on competition and exploitation of labor, those things that existed thousands of years ago are still held today. They're not questioned at all by the mainstream. They're not questioned. The idea of debt being pressured on society to stimulate growth and for people to compete with one another, to compete with one another for artificial scarcity, that's what it is. We don't live in a time of real scarcity. We live in a world of artificial scarcity. It's not real what we're seeing around us. This scarcity we see around us is generated by the market system, not a natural condition of humanity. People need to understand that. That's a very dangerous propaganda to think otherwise, because that is actually this scarcity-oriented worldview where things are scarce and we have to compete and lobby and gaming strategies to survive. All that shit is derived because of the market system, which has been imposed upon society. And that is what leads to issues like Israel and the empires, the colonialism, the mentality in England where they have all these mass riots to kick the immigrants out, but they're so stupid, they don't question how a few hundred years back, their own ancestors were the ones colonizing everything. So like maybe, I don't know, do Native Americans in the United States have a right to say, we want invaders not to come anymore, like back then, to say, stop the boats, stop coming to here. So this projection that Western society is very civilized because this and that, no, in reality, Western society embraces the most fundamental and radical elements of free market capitalism. So it's actually the most dangerous. So anyway, I'm going to continue. Let me see what comments there are. We're going to talk a little more. Yeah, see, all these people are so brainwashed that they want entertainment. It has to be entertaining, or have to be popular, have a big following, or be entertaining to have any respect from these clowns who go and talk about religion and all their dogmatic, stupid, tribalistic notions of like, oh yeah, I'm a Democrat, you're a left wing, the left are trying to ruin things, and the left says the right are trying to ruin things. It's just this left, right, up, down paradigm is so stupid and outdated. It's so immature and pathetic and cultish, really, because any group identity is actually a cultish notion. There's only one group that ever existed, it's the human family. That's all that really matters. Not like all this, oh, I'm a Christian, I'm a Jew, I'm this, I'm that. Like, you're creating all these tribalistic, stupid, really silly and unreal. They're not real, okay? They have no legitimacy. This idea that like black is somehow different than white. That's the imposition of the market system, which has actually brought about all the racism we see in the world anyway. So these people are society has become so sad. I see the younger people, I talk to them all the time. Their minds they're so destroyed. They have no patience to read a book, to sit down and investigate and research things, Research things. I'm 40 fucking years old. I have more curiosity and the drive to investigate and learn new things than a lot of 20-year-olds in today's society, I was just talking to this girl a little while ago, and she was like, yes, all upset and triggered because I don't speak politically correct language that upsets her. But I'm like, okay, how about you start working with, like, why can't people come together and ask the question, hey, let's research and study what is going on with society. How can we fix it? On the larger scheme, You have to always start from the root source. You have to always start at the lowest common denominator and then work your way up. Not this idea, this myopic viewpoint where, oh yeah, like Democrats have to be fighting Republicans, or you're like a Free Palestine movement person. Okay, you're trying to free Palestine, but like you don't look at the larger picture, which is like, look at back home at the empires, what is going on, the exploitation that has happened through labor. Let's say we fix the Palestine issue or fix the Ukraine issue. What is the world supposed to return to? What is it supposed to return to? The present condition that we've had for literally hundreds of years, if not thousands of years, the capitalist system, which is based on growth. It's based on growth on a finite planet. It is so cancerous. People don't think about this. And the climate change, the disasters that are coming, these are all driven by this scarcity-oriented worldview of growth, So we have to think the complete opposite of that. We have to think the diametrical opposite of growth-based economics and debt-based economics and competition. Look at the Olympics. Olympics is a great example of how stupid society has become. It's so immature. I haven't watched the Olympics. I refuse to, because it's so immature. You're driving more regression. You're not really bringing the world together, because all these countries, people are holding a flag. I have this flag. I'm a part of this tribe. And my victory comes at the expense of the other tribe. So it's tribal warfare on a low level. And then when you extrapolate the competitive games to the larger world and order, you see that it's really the same thing. Like, the gaming strategies of survival and competition is what has created all the sports we see today, all the competitive games. I ask people often, do we have a single cooperative sport that is profitable in capitalism? Think about that. Do we have a single cooperative, purely cooperative, where there's no competition, okay? No one's fighting against each other. Let's say you have a team. The team's success is dependent upon everybody working together to achieve a common goal. And then you say, hey, let's collectively every year try to get better at this. Let's collectively get better at it. So every year you're trying to get collectively as a whole better at solving a certain problem and becoming more efficient at solving that problem. So that will actually make your society as a whole progress, instead of, oh yeah, America won the gold medal this year and Russia won the other year. Like, it's so childish. People don't see that. Competition, the idea of criticizing competition makes people uncomfortable, because that's all they've ever known. I was an extremely competitive athlete, by the way. I'm not, speaking from lack of experience. I was extremely competitive in a lot of things in my life, okay? I still am in a lot of things, but that's just my nature as a human being, my nurture and nature combined, because I grew up in a competitive society. But I do realize if I had it my way, I would not have competition. I would literally remove competition from society, because it's literally toxic. It's not good. It does not really lead to progression and progress among humanity. It really doesn't, Let me see. Yeah, but my question for you, Latland or the Venus Project logo, my question for people is, when they say sports drive to society and progression, why don't we have a single cooperative sport? If it's all fair play, why do all the institutions, okay, forget about sports for a second, all the institutions of finance, of labor, getting the job market, the corporations, the entire edifice is based on competition. The entire edifice is not based on cooperation. When I go into a job interview, I'm competing with the other person for that job. So it's not a egalitarian good thing producing kind of a setup. It's not. So the games, the competitive games we see at the Olympics are actually a manifestation or a reflection of the actual economic transactions of society. If someone doesn't see that, they're just being ignorant, man. I'm sorry, fucking, you don't get it. Like, you just don't get it. Like, it's so obvious. It is so obvious. All the sports of wrestling, even football, basketball, all these sports that are competitive are based on a projection of a society that is competitive, where people have to compete for scarce, artificially scarce resources. It's not even real scarcity. It's not real scarcity. It's artificial scarcity. That's what's so fucking offensive to me. That is what's so, it pisses me off and offends me so much to see people literally starving to death, and we're like, oh yeah, I'm sorry, we don't have enough food, Yeah, sure. Like, trillions of dollars, literally trillions, tens of trillions of dollars of extraction of free labor and slavery and raw materials that's stolen from the global south by the global north, There's so much that's been stolen for just nothing. Senseless growth that actually has only empowered a 1%. That's all it's really ever done. People need to understand these things, If you want to actually get at a better, even start talking about solutions, we need to understand where things went wrong. Where do we fuck up to begin with? We didn't fuck up just with America. Like, America wasn't some perfect country and then it started, decided to start the military industrial complex, It wasn't some perversion of the American system where we had the Federal Reserve and shit. No. America, the idea of it was corrupt to begin with, just like most countries. Borders, territorial disputes, all this drawing lines that don't exist on a map. It's just stupid. That's my point. So the solution, okay, let me talk about some solutions now, okay? So hold on a second. No, sports competition, it's not in our DNA. It's not in our DNA. You guys should check out a book called No Contest, The Case Against Competition. There's a book called No Contest, The Case Against Competition. That book is jam-packed with historical, anthropological, and data based on studies, that were done. Tons of studies were done. Studies on competition and cooperation, and every single time people cooperating blow the competitive group out of the water, okay? Competition creates anxiety among people who are competing with one another, so it does not lead to the best performance. I'm not talking about sports. I'm talking about people actually doing things now, work and working on projects and stuff. The entire competitive system, you have to detach. People have to detach what they've been brainwashed their entire life, what's been imposed upon them for decades, and then to be able to entertain these ideas and actually try to entertain the things I'm talking about, which is cooperation is better than competition. They have to detach the past brainwashing and conditioning and the hardwiring of the competitive model to start thinking about what cooperation actually means. Because competition creates a winner and a loser. The loser, no matter how much you try to convince ourselves that's the way that things should go, is not. Because the sharing of ideas can be considered cooperation. The withholding of ideas, which is what corporations do, corporations withhold information from each other and from the public to have market dominance, That does not create the best product. Every company, every idea, every institution needs to get together and share information and try to process information together to come to solutions. That's the way we can actually progress our society. So we've fooled ourselves to think that competition has led to the innovation that we see in the world today. It's not true. Cooperation and the sharing of information, like open sourcing, has actually what's led to the progress of humanity, not the other thing. So, and then when you look at all the games and shit, historically, for the majority of human history, we did not live in competitive societies. We didn't have hierarchy and all the nonsense we see here. You guys just have to do your reading on anthropology and history to see what I'm talking about. That for the vast majority of human history, I'm talking about 95% of human history, we lived in cooperative societies that shared resources, and it's called minimalistic affluence. Minimalistic affluence. There's numerous anthropologists like Margaret Mead and others that I can't remember right now. There's a lot of great anthropologists that have looked at all this stuff, and there's a lot of data out there tons of data on past societies and how they operated. But people don't know about this shit, because writing and recorded history came about also with the onset of different societies and agricultural communities. So when we started doing agriculture and permaculture and having mixed systems of hunting and agriculture, that's where we could settle as society, settle down, and then innovation kind of increased, because we became stationary societies, not nomadic, and that enabled writing to come into place. But then when that happened, societies that developed trade and debt-based economics based on growth and competition, they wiped out the ones that were cooperative. And that's actually the historical record. I'm not making this shit up. You gotta look into it. Look into the book called The Origin of Everything. The Origin of Everything by David Graeber. Tons of information on that regarding what really happened back, I'm talking about thousands of years ago. And then, and then we started, using debt. And then we started making money is basically debt, okay? Debt existed before money did. So we started having debt-based economics, which led to a competitive system of hierarchy. And once that happened, society just, became more warlike, became more indifferent towards the suffering of others. And poverty, which is the greatest killer of humanity, poverty has killed more than anything, okay? Poverty came about because of debt-based economics, So we've gone off a bad, dark path for a long time. And now that we have the technology and the scientific literacy and the understanding of what really happened in our past and understanding human behavior, the things we know now, it's just preposterous to me that people make statements like humans are naturally competitive. I mean, do we live in 2024 or are we living in, the 16th century to make these kind of ignorant statements that man is naturally competitive? It's just ridiculous. I talked to a PhD in psychology a few months ago, and he said that statement. I was like, I can't believe you're a PhD professor of psychology and you say humans are naturally competitive. It is such a dogmatic statement. It's so comically incorrect that it's mind-boggling. It's that people should be allowed to make those kind of incorrect statements. It is so stupid. So the thing about humans, I'll say, is it's in our nature to not be restrained by our nature. It's in our nature to not be to be controlled by our nature, if that makes any sense. We are what the environment shapes us to be. We're different than other animals. Animals are very different. They operate on a different level cognitively than humans do. We are way more complex creatures with a larger brain, capable of using logic and stuff, reasoning and such. So competition is a scarcity enforcement kind of behavior. Competition is a behavior that comes about when scarcity is imposed on the condition. And believe me, I'm telling you this from tons of research, and people who are way smarter than me have taught me all these things. You just got to look into it. Read the book Drive by Daniel Pink. Read the book Debt, the First 5,000 Years to see where society actually went wrong. You got to read, like I said, the other book, No Contest, The Case Against Competition. It's a really good book. You should read that book. It's amazing. All right, let's see what people said. It's probably going to be a bunch of religious statements and shit. Let's see. Let's see the comments. I mean, we can do sports cooperatively for fun as well. Why does it have to be competitive only for fun, The idea that people get a dopamine response from beating other people is ridiculous. It's ludicrous. No, you can feel good and get a dopamine response from cooperating as well, like achieving a task together. It's actually more fun because when you do it that way, everybody has fun. Nobody says, "Oh, I lost." It's just if you say that competition, competitive sports bring you joy and there's no other way about it, no other way. Think of how ridiculous that is. That means that something went wrong, that you got brainwashed by, you just had that repeated to you so many times in the world around you. When the world around you reinforces competition, of course you're going to think, okay, it's all we have is competition. You're basically like a fish swimming in water. The water is all competitive. So you're just swimming around in waters that you see nothing else. You don't see another dimension to the thing. That, no, cooperation can actually be, it is shown through hundreds of, if not thousands of studies. Cooperative tasks are always bringing about more reward for the people, for the entire group, and they accomplish more when they're doing cooperation than competition. I can list tons of studies, but I don't have the time right now or the patience. I'm going to be logging off soon, but I want to just do a short talk on society, and you know what? Let's go. Yeah, let's talk about the solutions. Hold on. See what people said. I gotta go soon, but people don't care about etiquette these days. I can feel that, bro. Yeah. Exactly. Somebody gets it. Oh, Mickey Morrissey. Thank you. Yes. Scarcity. I'm not gonna take anything away from anybody. I'm not gonna take hockey away from anybody. You guys can do whatever you want to do. I still compete to this day. You know, I train martial arts. I do boxing competitions. I do kickboxing, wrestling, grappling. So I do that stuff. I play competitive video games. I play poker with my friends, but we just don't know anything better. You know, I'm just saying that there is a way to come up with cooperative games as well. It is that we all don't know any better as humans. We still haven't grown out of our immaturity. It seems, you know, our technology is advanced far too beyond our humanity, if you really think about it. So, you know, my thing I would say at the end of this short stream is that we have to eventually get together as communities, as society begins to deteriorate, which is actually what's happening, 100%. It's deteriorating around us, okay? As society deteriorates, we have to get together and form tribes that embrace the same values, similar values, where we all do equal education to understand that, hey, you know, in our particular group, let's say of 50 people who are using technology, like, you know, they build themselves some earth ships. You have a little dome-shaped structures you live in. You share resources. You have a farming system set up. You have, you know, you can even use automation in small, like, scaled down versions, which that's what's happening right now. Things are advancing so much that advanced technology is going to become cheaper and cheaper over time. Use those technologies to develop societies where you cooperate. Like, you know, you try to eventually, when we interact with each other, we don't use tokens of exchange like money. We simply do mutual aid. So there's no competition, no labor, no debt. Okay, there's no imposition of reciprocal obligation, but instead, what you do is you share resources and you engage in mutual aid. And it will happen. It's already happening around the world. I'm going to a really good meeting in Portugal in a few months where there's, I mean, I can't even begin to explain how complex it is. There's multiple workshops, people getting together to experiment with farming techniques, construction techniques, you know, social governance, how we can actually have a mutual aid society set up where people actually have benefits from it and benefit collectively. Like, these are things that it's just so, it's so painful that society doesn't talk about these things. People go to the highest universities in the world, the highest PhD, Harvard University, you know, Berkeley University, yet they know barely anything of relevance when it comes to anthropology, history, psychology, sociology, true economics. You know, people are not trained and brought up to be generalists and systems thinkers. You know, they're brought up to be minimalists in their way of thinking, truncated, myopic viewpoint. It's all tunnel vision. They don't see that there's so much complexity of information when it comes to the history of humanity, as well as, I mean, society at large, and then having a deep understanding of the laws of nature, of physics, and resources to develop a better society. That's what we need to do. We need to reset back to the life ground, as John McMurtry would say, a brilliant philosopher. You know, he wrote the book called Cancer Stage of Capitalism, where he compares the life sequence of value to the money sequence of value. And, you know, I'm afraid to say, competitive sports, competition, all this crap is simply a reflection and manifestation of the money sequence of value, because the money sequence of value is a scarcity-oriented model based on competition, hoarding, hierarchy, you know, and it produces the things we see. It produces naturally colonialism, imperialism, racism, xenophobia. All these things are produced because of this model of economics. So it ain't never going to go away unless we actually address the real issue, which is capitalism, and then try to fight it with diametrically opposed values. Okay, I can talk about this shit like for fucking hours, and I'll never get tired. I'm like a machine when it comes to talking about these kind of information. But you know, we have to. The point is, we have to start at this point talking about transitions and how we can actually build projects that get people together and work on transitionary solutions. We got to get people together to form communities. You know, and these are the next steps that we start slowly working on. I have a friend, for example, Amanda. She works in Kentucky with the Moneyless Society. She has her own job, okay? So just an example I'm throwing out. She has her own job making money on the side. Even though she's a single mom doing incredible, she has so much burden on her shoulders, she has created a mutual aid food network, like a Black Panther type of free food little program, where people who are disenfranchised or in poverty can go there and get food for free, and people come together, they talk with each other, and you know, we hope to have people go, you know, then discuss avenues of society from there. Like we start with something where people share resources and they engage in mutual aid, and you build upon that from there, layers up, you know, to the other factors of economics, of sustainability, you know, sustainable economics, which is like not growth-based, it's steady state economics, steady state, which means using the least amount of energy, the least input, producing as much resources to actually meet human needs on a sustainable basis. And then, yeah, you know. All right, I've been ranting a lot. Let me see what the comments said. But I hope I've been making sense, guys. I mean, seriously. Thank you. Let's see. Thank you, guys. I appreciate the supportive comments. Exactly, man. Latan, you know what's up. I mean, this guy who has the Venus Project logo, you guys should all look at the Venus Project. Look at the work of Jacques Fresco. That's impressed so much upon me as a human being to learn about it. I found Jacques Fresco when I was 25, 26, I think. 26? No, 26? Yeah. 15 years ago, I found Jacques Fresco and the Venus Project and the Zeitgeist movement. I got involved in activism at that time. I started studying the root source of the problems, and I started looking into solutions, which is, you know, it's complicated to explain the solutions in one swoop. But people need to understand first what capitalism is, you know. They don't understand that still. Many people do not understand what capitalism actually is still. Still, we're not there yet, you know. But you guys should check out my videos on the other part of my channel. Like, don't look at the stream, look at the actual videos I make, because in those videos I break things down. You know, I do actual proper editing, and I provide sources and information in the description. You know, but in the description of this video, I put a video link. That's it's called 4 Steps for a Better World. That's a good video you can check out, where I explain like different transitionary steps to arriving at a more sustainable society. Yeah, Ladland knows what's up. Anyway, guys, it's been a good stream. Sorry it's not the best stream today. I'm a little tired and winded down because I've had a bad week. My cat passed away. Well, I put him down Monday, so it's not been a good time. It's been tough. But I'm going to go back to working on my new video. I got to go back to the gym and train. And then, yeah, maybe do another video tomorrow. Maybe do another stream tomorrow. So, yep. All right, guys, it's been good talking to you. Hopefully you come back next time, okay? Any other things, last comments before I hang up and get out of here? Thank you. Appreciate your support. Yeah, it's very tough. My cat meant a lot to me. But I have videos coming out. I'm going to make a video. You know what, guys? I'm going to make a really good video about competition and why it's bad, okay? I'm going to present a lot of information in this video. And I'm going to talk about the Olympics and competitive sports in general as well. So I'm going to work on that's going to be my next video. You know, this inspired me, this talk, to do that. So I will make that video. Hopefully by next week it will be done. All right, guys. I'm out. Look at my video section. I posted a video about language and the art of communication. Hopefully you check that out. All right. I will see you guys soon. Peace out. Much love. In this tough time, I have to be centered in my approach and my emotions and my spirituality, and try to be a better person from these losses in life, because life is only beautiful because it is limited in time. It always ends. So we have to be grateful for what we have and truly feel blessed and try to help other people. And I'm not just saying this shit, I mean it, you know. You have to try, you know, what is the point of our life if we're not trying to give to the world? What is the point of our life if we're not trying to better other people's life? That's the only thing that should be considered an accomplishment. Winning a trophy in some stupid game where you beat other people, that is not accomplishment. Accomplishment is contributing to the betterment of all humankind. That is accomplishment. That's one thing. When you know that truth, it sets you free. And you free them from all the judgment and self-hate and self-criticism that you place upon yourself and other people. And then we can truly understand, you know, who are the people who actually are the ones we should be inspired to be motivated to follow, you know, as far as values go. It's a war of values, guys. It's a war of values. And in the end, we have to promote alternative and much more progressive values to the world, okay? These are unacceptable times we're living in. Destruction of our ecosystems, all the wars, chaos, poverty, blaming immigrants for coming to this country, coming to that country. We gotta stop, step back, and look at the broader picture. The problem is not just Zionism or American imperialism, okay? Very important for people to understand this, you know? It's not just that. The problem is actually a mental model that's been imposed upon society for thousands of years based on scarcity, artificial scarcity, and exploitation of labor. These are things that need to be inserted into the mainstream discussions, okay? Anyways, guys, I'm fucking done. I can talk for fucking 10 hours about this stuff. I'm a machine. I can talk for fucking 4 days in a row without sleep about this. But it requires an audience. I want more people to pay attention to me. I want to get on some big networks and do interviews with these people. These freaking people know nothing. Oh God, these big channels like Piers Morgan, all those clowns. They want, it's just, they're such dishonest people. They use their attention and their power of their influence to just get more clicks and more views and more money. So disingenuous. Anyway, all right, guys. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna leave off on this. Please check out the book, No Contest, the Case Against Competition. No Contest, the Case Against Competition. It's a great book. All right, guys, peace out, much love. See you next time. Bye.